Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. Thanks for being here. My name's Sonia Javette. This is the Soundbite Productions live stream with my special guest today, Miss Celina Zisman and Miss Isabella Bedoya. And I probably have pronounced her name wrong, but we call her Izzy in the Fame Hackers world. So I'm so excited to have both of these queens here tonight, whichever time zone you're checking in. So if you like what you're seeing today, please like, share, and let others know. And I'm going to bring the ladies on at the same time, I think is the best idea. Let's go for that, because then we can do two with one bird. Let's see, add to the thing, and then let me switch up the view. Nope, not that view. Do the other view. There we go. Sweet. Isabella, let's do a sound check real quick. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
Sweet. Yes. So excited. So excited. This is fantastic. Intelligent, wonderful women in the industry that have made an effect in my life, especially this year during COVID. So I'm really excited about these two ladies being here today. If you have questions, put them in the chat box so that we can talk to you, communicate back with you. And I'm going to start with Miss Celina and let me read her bio to you guys as I scroll through my 1,000 not that. As you know, I'm learning to push all of the buttons by myself. So here we go. So Celina founded the Doug Fresh Productions in 2015 with her husband as a resource for the creative community in Austin and beyond. Having both grown up in a family-run business, their commitment and work ethic developed into instinct for I can speak words, entrepreneurship. There we go. Working alongside makers, musicians, and solo entrepreneurs, DFP, I love the acronym, acts as a guide for crafting professional practices. DFP offers one-on-one counseling, workshops, event planning, organizational school tools with which empower artists across disciplines with the information to establish, grow, and maintain their business, which is super important for artists in the music industry. Welcome, Miss Celina Zisman. Ding.
Thank you, Sonia. It's good to be here.
I'm supposed to have an audience cheer button, but I don't know where it is right now. It
I
goes
feel it. I'm feeling the psychic applause.
right on. And then let me read Miss Isabella. Izzy is the best way to call you that. Stay with that, or
Yeah,
Isabella. Izzy,
you can call me
sweet.
Izzy. Yeah.
I love Izzy. I just want to tell y'all right now, I'm a big fan of Izzy. She has this wonderful thing called Fame Hackers, and the Fame Hackers is a wonderful, wonderful tool to increase your self as an artist in the music industry. And Izzy tells it straight up, just like it is, and gives you all this beautiful, beautiful knowledge. Her classes and her webinars are worth the uh, money to invest in yourself. Let me find your bio because
Thank
I'm
you.
smart. I can do it. I can do it. Push the button. Push the button. Your wonderful tech Sai sent me your great information. Cirilla. Where is that? There it is. Okay, cool. Open. All right. So Izzy, founder of Fame Hackers, helps independent artists accelerate their music careers by helping them attract more super fans, gain more exposure, and monetize their music. As a former A&R for a label under Sony Music and working for an award-winning social media marketing agency in the past, Isabella, she's also a chef. Isabella helps artists excel in the new music industry by using strategies that work in today's social media. Izzy's been invited to speak at Musicians Institute, Bold TV, NBC, List TV, and has been published on multiple publications such as Thrive, Global, Medium, and Music Industry Weekly, to name a few. Welcome, Izzy. The crowd goes
Awesome.
wild.
Thank you.
Sweet. That was a lot to get out, but I'm really happy I could get that out. I'm trying to learn how to do this better. Push the buttons. Push the buttons. Thank you both so much for being here. Isabella, I don't. What part of the world are you in? I don't know if I know that. I know I see a lot of oceans and beaches in your timeline. So where are you from?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Florida. All right, Florida. And Celina, are you originally from Texas?
I am not. I come from the West Coast. Grew up in Southern California and have family and did my collegiate experience in the East Bay. So I consider myself a dual citizen of California.
Both
But I've
water
been here
babies.
since 2008. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that ocean.
Well, we don't have no ocean here in Texas. It's sad, but it's true. Let's see here. Let me start with some questions. Uh, it, Isabella, did you get a chance to read through the questionnaire I sent? Because I know it's a lot. I was gonna randomly go through it to ask you guys questions, so I'm not.
You can go through it. Yeah.
Let's ask this towards both of you. How long? No. Hmm, What about the two? Because you both created your own companies to help artists in the music industry. What did what made you get to that point? What's the best decision that made you get to that point that you wanted to do that? What said, I can do my own thing? And we'll start with Isabella.
Sure. What made me do my own thing was essentially the fact that I realized all artists really need to succeed is understand like the basic principles of social media, digital marketing, and e-commerce, and that's where merch sales and stuff comes in. So once I realized that that was the biggest factor, then it was like, okay, how can we teach artists? How can we actually put the power in their hands?
Same, Celina. Same question.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I think that entrepreneurial skills are universally applicable for anybody that's doing their own thing and taking their career into their own hands. And I think with artists, we are so focused on our, we don't want to call it a product, but it's our product, our music, our swag, our concerts, the whatever we're putting out into the world. And there are some realistic steps and practicalities that come with actually getting that to a point where it's easily accessible. And whether we like to believe it or not, all artists, independent or groups or whatever, are entrepreneurs. They are small business people. Those entities are small business. So those principles need to carry over into your practice in order to see long-term success. And seeing that from a bird's eye view outside of the community and having a lot of one-on-one conversations, coming from a background in family business and growing up with sort of the brass tacks of profit loss and all that. But being a creative, I found that I could easily translate and be a medium between those two worlds. And so it was a lot of unsolicited advice that I was wagging my finger and telling my creative friends, like, that's a write-off. You need to be doing this. You need to, keep track of that and be mindful of these things and treat your practice like a business. And finally, somebody said, hey, you know what? You could probably do this like for a living. And I said, oh, in my next life. And then I was presented with the opportunity to break off and do something new, and just followed this path down the road, and here we are.
Amen for that. Because it does make it is a business. You absolutely have to treat it like a business. So when people ask me, am I getting paid? I'm like, yes, because I don't want to hear my father go, are you getting paid? Yes, I'm getting paid. No, yes. To both of you, Izzy, how has the industry changed since you started?
The industry changes like constantly, right? Right now we're even seeing the NFTs thing happening where it's changing again a little bit. But I think from back when I started, it was like 5, 6 years ago. Even the how you look at social media has changed because back then what I had to do was like look for talent online, and like if they had a following, then we would like start conversations with them. But it's changed so much from back then because now you can actually see if the audiences are real. You can actually see like there's so many there's so many companies out there, so many marketing companies out there that are selling you just like the vanity metrics, so it looks like you have like a larger following, and then they sell you this like boosting up your streams on Spotify and on YouTube, and we see it all the time. But in reality, that doesn't really that's not like what you need. And I think like that's also like a biggest misconception, because a lot of artists are focusing all their money, time, and energy into those services, and they're only harming themselves. So so yeah, the biggest thing that changed was like how we use social media and how smart we have gotten with getting past the vanity metrics and like those types of things.
The acronym you said, NFTs.
Yeah, NFTs. It's like the right now it's what's happening. I don't know if you've heard much about it, but it stands for like non-fungible tokens, I think it is. And it's essentially a lot of these major artists are starting to sell like collect they're kind of like collectibles, and it's like art pieces, or like they're integrating their music into like this digital art, and only like a certain amount, they only create a certain amount and they sell a certain amount. So we've been seeing like headlines, of like um what is it, like what is it, Kings of Leon or something? They did something Billy, no, not Billie Eilish. It was someone else. I can't remember now. 3 Lau, I think is how you pronounce, like 3 LAU. He also sold something, and his auction was like $11 million for his NFTs. So yeah, there's been some artists that are like starting to sell these like this digital art.
I need to get in there. How do I get in there? Your turn, Miss Celina. How has
Yeah,
the
no, I
industry changed since you started?
Well, I think, it's exactly to what Izzy's saying, is that, as a young person, I was coming in right in the era of GarageBand, and I was starting to fall in love with bands that were stepping away from the label, right? And things were no longer completely dependent on if you had representation and if you had a big budget and if you had the support. You could kind of bootstrap your own projects and put yourself out there. And I think from there, we have just avalanched into a new world that is constantly morphing and changing. We're dealing in social media like with analytics and like what content can you put out there, how can you solicit yourself and be desirable and create a demand for your product. But it's all on your own shoulders, right? Like, are you posting? Are you hashtagging? Are you storying? Are you engaging with your audience? Are you engaging with your community? And it's a lot of weight to bear, for sure. And I think, you're right. It's reassuring to hear that those false metrics that are very tempting to throw money at, as an artist, do you have the resources to kind of throw away in that way, or can you invest in yourself and time to build a following that really is a very real, group of people that are following and liking, as opposed to just empty numbers. So yeah, I think that we as artists and musicians in the community, and I say artists, I mean everybody who's a creative in the music industry, we have a lot of power. I think it's overwhelming, and it can feel like a lot, like everything is a priority and it's a lot of things to maintain. Sonia over there with all your buttons, but but we're solopreneurs, and that's why I like to reinforce that term, is that everything falls on our shoulders. So, there's, even if you are a band, there's typically one or two people that are pulling the bulk of the admin weight. So the fact that we have that control and have that ability to curate what our audience sees, and it isn't dependent on a record label, is such a gift, but at the same time, what a weight to carry too. So I think like we kind of always have to be morphing and changing and ready to adapt to the next thing. The pandemic is a perfect example, and how we've had to move everything online, and people that had never been on Zoom are now experts at live streaming and digital currency and Venmoing for tips and stuff. So I just think it means, the industry is constantly shifting and evolving, but for the better. I think that there are just more and more tools out there for people to use to support themselves as a project.
That is so true. All of those things you have both said are so true. Because I'm one of those artists to go, what else do I need to add? How many things do I need to post? Oh my gosh. And Izzy's class is wonderful for that. Uh, let's see here. Let's go with this is fun. What is Izzy? What has been your biggest success factor so far?
My biggest success factor, that's a good one. You know what? I think it's just like being authentic. Like that has the when I shifted into just being like, messy action and, done is better than perfect and not having to always have the best caption or the best post or even like the best answer to say, it's just like being yourself and figuring out a way to like serve your audience, right? Because that's also another thing where people get super caught up and they're like, it's all a me show. But in reality, the mission that I'm on and Celina, you're probably in the same mission, it's like, how can we actually help these artists? And when your mission is so much greater than you, it's literally just up to you to get out of your own way, step into your own power, and like figure out how to help people without making it all about you.
Yeah, all of that, all of that. And I think, Easy, we're going to just be right in line with one each other. I can just feel it. We're connected. But yeah, I think that doing that work and prioritizing the people that you're working with, that leads to that word of mouth. So the fact that I am still getting clients and referrals from people that I've worked with in the past, that years ago, that they're still not necessarily singing my praises, but they're saying, I took this class, or I worked with this person, or I met this person in passing at an event, and I just really think that you two would work well together. So, providing a beneficial experience and a positive experience in areas that are really scary and hard, like social media and marketing yourself, like these are not things that we're like intuitively doing. We're learning these things because, like we're saying, these are constantly changing and evolving. So the fact that I'm providing an experience, a feeling that feels good enough for people to continue to spread my name and spread awareness of the work that we're doing. That's my greatest success, for sure.
I love it.
Okay. What books should I be reading and the audience members? What books would you suggest for them to read? Izzy.
Sure. I have these two right here, actually. How to Make It in the New Music Business by Ari Hurston. That's a really good one. And you got that one. And then Music, All You Need to Know About the Music Business by, I think it's Doug Passman. It's a yellow one.
Oh, no, I don't have that. Mine's black.
You might know. Yeah. It's like the last two. The last two right down there. I don't know how to point. There we go. Those last two. Yeah, if I try to get them right now, I'll make a whole disaster. But yeah, those are really good books, especially because it's all about the new music industry, and they go a lot more in depth into like royalties and registering your music and stuff like that, which is super, super important. And then for music, those two, and then for an additional one for personal development, I think I would do. I have so many good ones. I think I would do, honestly, like, not even about personal development, Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. It teaches you how to, like, generate traffic without necessarily doing paid advertising.
Oh, I don't have that one.
It's a really, really good book.
What about you, Miss Celina?
Tanya, this was the one question I was like, there are a lot of questions on this list. Let's hope that this is not one of the ones that you bring up, because I feel like I have a decent excuse. I'm a new mom. And so I think the reality is that anything that I'm reading right now is totally kid-based, like Montessori toddler is what's on my nightstand at the moment. But when you ask me this, and also I'm a new mom, so I have like very little brain capacity at the moment. It's like all swirling around in there. But when I read this question, it made me think of the first two books that I read back in 2005. I'm sorry, also, if you hear my baby that's waking up from a nap right now. And they're not exciting or juicy, but I think they really helped me understand the perspective of coming in and running a business on your own and the realities of what that means. So the E-Myth is like a super old book from the 80s. It talks about entrepreneurship. It gives the classic example I'm sure everybody's heard, where there's a woman who loves to bake pies. So she wants to go start a bakery. And then ultimately she gets burnt out because she's not just baking pies, she's hiring, she's running the front end customer service of the business. There's the marketing aspect. And so just illuminates and highlights how many hats you have to wear as an entrepreneur. And I think that, again, translates to anybody that's trying to make a buck off of their creative endeavor. And it's just a good grounding to like ask for help, right? Like your time is your most valuable asset. So if there are things that you don't know how to do, you know, how much are you going to save by actually bringing in an expert or hiring somebody to do that work? Because ultimately time is your most valuable asset, and only you can do the things that only you can do. The other one that I really like, super cheese, by the way, very woo. I hope everybody's into the woo, is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I'm really sorry, but it's so good about dealing with like imposter syndrome and the pressures of creativity on you. Like, I was in a very sensitive place when I started my own business. So like that was just really resonating for me. But just somebody to say like, it's okay to have writer's block. It's okay to be drained creatively. And here is the grace that you can give yourself. Shout out to Brené Brown, because all of the leadership books that she puts out are really phenomenal and amazing. Now, of course, I'm thinking of like the books that I've actually read in the last 5 years, but I will stick with those two, because I think that if you're just starting out on your own, you're feeling like a baby business person, that those are two real good, like super woo and then super reality check. So somewhere in the middle, you will like glean what you need to know about the realities of starting your business on your own. So I think in hindsight, I will, you know, I'm going to have a better answer for that question in the future. Sonia, thank you.
That was a great answer, because you, as Izzy says, you answered honestly and what's that word?
Authentically.
Authentically, yes, that was perfect. There's lots of moms out here who are musicians that are like, I don't know what I never do. So yeah, that was excellent. I love it. Okay. How about is there a quote that motivates you? What I should say? What quote motivates you, or do you have quotes that will motivate you? Because as in Ari's book, he talks about finding 20 quotes that you would use often for yourself to help you motivate. So Izzy, do you have quotes?
I have a bunch of quotes, but the only one that comes to mind right now is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Mm.
And I think that resonates so much, because, you know, you always need to have a plan. Like, you can't just throw like, there's a saying that says, like, you know, if you throw spaghetti at the wall hoping that something sticks. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do, and a lot of musicians do as well. And it's like, no, you have to have a plan. Now, you won't necessarily always go through the plan, but at least you had a structure.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
super wise. A quote that I always come back to, especially when people ask me like, what's your favorite quote? It's from Prince. And he says it in a live after party record that I have, and it's party where you are. And to me, that translates across the board. And that's like, celebrate the successes that you've had. Don't become obsessed with the things that you need to be doing. Be present and be conscious where you are, so that you can actually have a clarity of vision. Celebrate the things that you've accomplished, and don't worry about other people or like where you're not. Right. So I take this like very literal. Party where you are, in the audience, dance, you know, vibe, and just apply it to everything. Because what person doesn't worship Prince and all of the wisdom and knowledge that he had? So party where you are, I always fall back to that one, because to me it represents just a lot of acceptance. And that may be me like being super heady about that quote, but I love that one. And I always just say party where you are, because people were, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that. But party where you are. You know, where you are is where you are, where you're meant to be right now in this moment. Celebrate that and give yourself permission to just enjoy where you're at.
Yes, absolutely true. My favorite question to ask is, if you had superpowers, what would your superpower be? Izzy.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Superpowers. Well, I think it would be really, really cool to. I'm stuck between two, because I'm like, it would be really cool to fly, but it also would be really cool to time travel. Like, have you guys seen Umbrella Academy?
Say it again.
Have you guys seen Umbrella Academy on Netflix?
The one with the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like how cool. They just travel in time. So either of those two. I don't know.
Right
What's
on.
yours, Sonia? I'm curious. What's your superpower?
See, I'm a nerd. I think
Yeah.
I have my superpower. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I am doing something that most people will never ever get to do. So I feel like that is my superpower.
True.
Bruce says,
Very true.
like, um, pushing all of the mouses. You don't. Okay, well, don't hang up. Bruce, I'm trying not to close the screen out. Where is? Okay, that one. There you go. Ding. Bruce says, party where you are, as Isabella has said. Okay, let's go back out. Bing. Celina, you froze. I'm going to take you off for a second and then bring you back. Just give me a wave when your camera comes back on. Izzy, totally, I just want you to know how much I really, really loved your course. It was,
Thank you.
it has been a wonderful change for me in my process of being an artist. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I highly recommend taking Izzy's Fame Hackers class, course, seminar, whatever words you want to use to say it. Take this. It is brilliant and wonderful knowledge that she is giving to her. And talk about your the thing on the other thing, the short version. The
Which one?
short
The
one,
networking event?
where we all show up and go, hey, what you doing? And you break us in breakout rooms.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the compliments. I'm really grateful that you came to the event, and I'm really grateful that you found it useful. In terms of, so I do this once a month, monthly meetup. Right now, the working title has been. Oh, wait, what happened?
No, my bad. I pushed the wrong button. Go for it.
Oh,
Take it. Start back over.
cool. Yeah, so the working title was Music Connection. So the first two were called Music Connection, and then I realized there's a publication, so I just changed the name to Be Positive Music, BPM monthly networking event. And it's really cool because like we all come together, anyone between like artists or aspiring people that want to get jobs in the music industry, and as well as professionals and people that have experience. And we all come together in a Zoom call, and then we break out into breakout rooms. So what we've been doing right now is like groups of 4 for about 10 minutes. So everybody gets to connect. Then we go back to the lobby and break off. Over the course of 3 hours, you met a lot of people. You built relations with a lot of people. And then we also have a database for everyone that goes. It's also split up into its own category so that managers can continue the relationship with artists, and artists can continue the relationship with like marketers if they need to, or whatever they need. It's easily accessible, and it's been pretty cool, and it's absolutely free. And if anyone's in the music industry and you'd like to stop by, it's usually the 3rd Saturday of every month.
Yes. Okay, let me see. Go back to bring us all on board. Bring us back. Okay, switch the thing. Bring on the Isabella. There.
Wow.
Yay! The gremlins got you. That's all right.
No kidding.
The last question was we're gonna do another question because we're gonna because I have lots of meetings today that just keep coming. I'm like, I'm blessed. So last question. This is good. What are your daily habits to keep you motivated for this? I know it's exciting to help artists, which I love doing because that's why I'm doing these shows. But what keeps you motivated? And I can tell you what mine is immediately. It is working out. When I get to go swim or ride on my recumbent bike that I have in my apartment, that saves me from going cuckoo. I absolutely love working out. So, Celina, you go.
I having a toddler, not as much time to commit to routine as you would think. but I do think that time with him is a nice reset, and it gives me, not to get all cheesy, but making a good future for him, and getting the sun on my face. I think going outside and fresh air and stretching and breathing, as disorganized, no yoga practice, no anything, but just being conscious and slowing down and trying to connect with all my toes and fingers. I can't say that I meditate. I can't say that I have a regular yoga practice, but incorporating bits and pieces, like a piecemeal self-care, and practicing gratitude is something that I absolutely do actively and regularly, for my partner, for myself, for my brain, for my feet, for the air, for the sky. I think we've all been through so much that it's easy to lose track of the things that we do have. And so I find that, in bouts of depression, or when we're really low because everything we've worked for has evaporated, or in Texas, we lose power and water, and suddenly it's like what we thought, things we take for granted that are going to be there all the time are suddenly not. So practicing gratitude, that is definitely something that I do every day. And so that's more of a mental health thing, but it helps center me and to stay real with myself and with what I can accomplish in 24 hours.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Ms. Izzy, your turn.
I love that. I actually do something very, very similar. I have a morning routine, and when I don't do it, I feel like my whole day is just like discombobulated. But the morning routine that I do is essentially like the second that I wake up, first thought that goes to my head, and I have it like plastered all over my wall, that says today's the best day ever, because I start with that mindset of like, today really is the best day ever. It's like, remember back in school when it would be like, you're going on a road trip or you're going on a field trip or whatever, and you'd be like, yes, today's the best day ever. And all of a sudden you have the most amazing days. So one of the things that I do is like, today's the best day ever. Then I journal. I have my morning gratitude, and then also my morning pages, where if you've never heard of that, you just kind of like dump out everything that's in your brain. Like you write out at least 3 pages, and you just get everything out there. And it's not meant to be like nice or organized, and you're not meant to like read it back. But by getting rid of all this like excess thoughts, you gain clarity for the rest of the day of like what's really important. And then I usually do either like a visualization or like I'll read a book or something for like 30 minutes. And this one thing that I started doing this year during this time is on January 1st, I made this document called, it's by John Assaraf, and it's also getting a little too woo, but it's by John Assaraf. I think it's called like My Exceptional Life or something like that, My Exceptional Life Blueprint. And you just fill this all out and you print it out and you read it like a magazine every single morning. And it's like all of your goals in every aspect of your life. So that's something that I started doing during that time. And it's been great because I'm constantly reminding myself of like what's important to me and getting rid of all these, because right now we live in a world where we have way too many options, and it's hard to lose control, and it's hard to it's hard to stay focused. So that's really helped me a lot this year.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Last
Izzy, will you
question.
repeat that last book? Because I'm trying to
Yeah,
write it down
it's
over here.
called here, I can send you the PDF too, but it's My Exceptional Life Blueprint. How do I get back here? Can I drop a link in here? I don't know if that
You
link
can
works, but
put in the private chat. There it is.
yeah, if you just
Maybe
copy
Sonia
that.
can pass that around. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm always looking for
Yeah, that's
new
the
stuff.
PDF.
Last question, ladies. What you can do, one tip or 2 tips, whatever you want to do. What tip would you give the up and coming artist and current artist to have them move forward in their careers? Something simple, some simple gem. And I met Izzy in Clubhouse. So if you're not on Clubhouse, I suggest you get on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is awesome. I know it's not for Android yet, but it will be. So I love Clubhouse. Celina.
Feel left out over here.
They're going to open it up soon, so it's cool. Either one of you can start that question. What tip, what gem would you drop for artists that are now current and
I feel like mine's a boring one because I'm on the brass tacks side. I'm on the entrepreneurial side, and I feel like financial literacy is a huge block for a lot of people. And again, you're wearing every hat. That means you're the tax hat, you're the accounting hat, you're the are you in the black? Are you in the red? And so something I would tell my clients a lot is like, you can be in the red, you can be in the black, but never be in the gray. Never be at a point where you don't know how much money you're making. You don't know what your overhead is. You don't know if you are losing money or making money. And so for me, having a good grasp on where you are financially and what your needs are, what your personal needs, what are your business needs. Like, you should be able to tell me when we sit down, and this is work that we do, but like, how much does it cost for you to operate an hour? How much does it cost just for you to live hourly or a day? And if you don't know those numbers, that's a really great place to start, because when people especially are getting ready to break off from a 9-to-5 job or a corporate job, knowing what your needs are, so you're not just jumping into the abyss like the universe will catch me. It's like, well, something will catch you. It might be the floor. So set yourself up for success and do a little, do the hard work in the beginning, and just grab the bull by the horns when it comes to that big, scary financial facet of your practice.
Excellent. Yes. Miss Izzy.
That was phenomenal advice. I think the biggest thing that I would hone in on is understanding that you are an entrepreneur and understanding that you are a business, and believing in yourself, because we've been conditioned, and society has conditioned every single musician out there to believe that they're a hobby, that they are working on a hobby, that they're never going to be successful, they're never really going to make anything out of this, and if they pursue music, they're going to be broke, starving artist, or homeless. And it's possible now more than ever. It's very possible. And it's very important that artists understand that, and that they, even if they don't believe 100% in themselves, they believe a little bit more to actually, grab the bull by the horns and get their music out there, because otherwise they're doing the world a disservice. But it all starts with just knowing, that you are an entrepreneur, and in the beginning that does mean investing in yourself and in your own growth, and also having a strong foundation, like Celina just mentioned. So yeah.
Yes. Power to the girls. I'm sorry. Power. Yes. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, because it's really important, especially to get to hear it from other people, different diversities of people that are in the business. So thank you so much to both of you. I'm going to take you both off screen. I appreciate you being here. And it's going to be me solo, and we're going to close out the show. And if you want to be on my show, please send me an email at Soundbite Productions, or sorry, my apologies, let me say it again, soundbitepro66@gmail.com. I'm working on doing this at least twice a month right now, and we'll go from there. Here's our closeout music. Appreciate you being here.